Blog Talk Radio.
And welcome to Community Garden Revolution. We've got a jam-packed show today. Action. Lots going on. And we're going to be talking to, of course, the All-America Selections folks, Diane Blasek, who's the executive director. We're going to be having Casey Tomato. He's going to be in the house. And then also I wanted to tell you about the new designs from the Ball people. It's the Jardin Home Brands, but it's the Ball collection, and also the Kerr people. They sent me some new items that are out. Of course, we've got them covered there in the magazine issue from March that's coming out, I believe, today. Once it's approved, it comes out and ready to be on www.magster.com, magzter.com, in the health section. Got to check it out. But anyway, so we got a shipment, and we're always so glad when the different folks send us a little bit of a shipment so we can tell you all. Of course, you know, we cover it in our magazine all the time. And this is one of my favorite companies because my mom and a good friend of hers for many years, until the lady died of cancer, they used to, once or twice a year, get together, spread out the kitchen table. Everybody had to be gone. It was that kind of doings. And they would go ahead and laugh and cackle so much. We would be in different rooms or outside. And they would can or freeze things. But mostly it was canning. And we always used the Ball mason jars. We had them of different sizes. And we had a special shelf that was in the laundry room for our different edibles. And, of course, during the wintertime, you just couldn't beat it with a stick. So basically what they've got, we love these. These are wide mouth. They're the Ball sharing jars. And you can put that with a little bit of a tag to somebody. Puts like the outside of the container has a bunch of peaches inside. Then it has a little card on the outside. I'm salivating. And it's great for gift giving. We're going to go ahead and keep them out for decoration right at the time. And I think Mom's going to put pennies in one of them. But we're going to keep them out for decoration at the time because at Christmas time we give different baked goods to our friends inside of boxes and try to, make it kind of fun that they can sift through the box and see the different containers of what has like fudge in it or cookies or peanut brittle. We do caramel candies and then a few other things too, like sugar cookies and so on. And then we have chocolates, all kinds of chocolates from different places. So that's what we do. And then, of course, if it's a relative, we put in a Christmas gift. We put in tea, cocoa, there just so many things, funny gifts. We've put in that before, too. But these are delightful. They're 4 32-ounce wide mouth. That's called the Collection Elite Design Series. And it does remind you about Feeding America and help donate to them. The Ball Collection, which is the Collection Elite, has also a new one out that we really liked. It's an amber color. It's a new one, folks, amber. And that's kind of like a light brownish kind of color, whatever. And the reason why it's so good, because we got 2 different sizes that he sent us. Let me see what this is. 16-ounce and 32-ounce. Cute sizes. We were impressed. The thing with the amber jars is that it blocks 99% of the harmful UV rays, from the sun, which can help maintain the flavor, fragrance, and the nutrients of foods, herbs, and spices. That's the amber jars that they're now putting out with the Ball Collection, the Elite Series. I'm telling you, these are top-notch. We have seen their things over the years. I always like the blue ones. That's my favorite, the clear ones. But we have seen these products over the years, folks, and it is just amazing what they're coming out with now because they want to be up to date. They want to provide you with all kinds of options, the whole thing. But they're also thinking about the people that want to give some good gifts. And like I said before, my mom and her friend, they used to can all the time. I mean, anything, everything. If we grew it in the garden, they just go out and scan it and see if they can can it. I didn't mean for that to be a poem kind of thing, but that was kind of cute. But bottom line, they wanted to make sure that they used fresh items. Sometimes they put a little grosgrain ribbon at the top. Sometimes they put like a cloth ribbon back in the day, and the 70s that was real popular. And so they give it to people for gifts. And it'd be someone maybe at church, or it'd be someone that did something nice to them, like the beautician. Mom always likes to give something to the beautician. And sometimes some of our doctors, because we always want them to feel that we appreciate what they do to help keep us good and healthy as best as possible in different phases of life. So that's what we do. That's how we roll. We're just so excited, and we say thank you to those people that are the www.freshpreserving.com. That's www.freshpreserving.com. You can see a whole catalog of either the books, recipes. They've got all kinds of different mason jar sizes. When I go to the stores in our town in the last 2 years, I've seen a big uptick in what the space has been on the shelves for these particular products, and I'm very, very excited and thrilled that more people are taking the time to can and hopefully freeze also their items. We freeze items all the time. That's how I made vegetable soup this past week. It was awesome, I'm telling you. I just went through the freezer and through the refrigerator, and I call it kitchen soup because I just throw in whatever I've got. But we had some really good items that we've kept, and we do this every fall. We go ahead and make sure that we've got some stuff that's freezable and put it in there. And the canning, we want to get back into doing more of that. My mom and her friend did it for many years, and it's always exciting to talk to the people there at freshpreserving.com or the ball curve people. They're all the same thing. They have different manufacturing plants across the nation, and we're just so delighted that they thought about us to be able to send such a neat package to me. I appreciate that. They appreciate what we're doing, and let's keep on pushing the canning and preserving thing. And I think the American Community Gardening Association, because I gave them my contacts, they're trying to see if there can be some kind of connection with them to possibly help push more people to do canning and preserving and to realize that going back to the basics isn't all that bad. So it's exciting times for people, and we're hoping that everyone does take the time to do some canning and preserving, and we're just so delighted to have them aboard. We're going to be right back with the folks there at the All America Selections here in a moment. You're listening to Community Garden Revolution, and my name is Mary. So glad you're here today. I'm Mary Huckel, and my show is Community Garden Revolution. I'm sticking to that story. And we've got now the Executive Director, Diane Blazek, who is in charge of the All-America Selections. How are you, Miss Diane?
I'm doing great. Every day that spring is closer, I get better.
Isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth? Yeah, she's going to tell us just probably about 30 seconds or so about the uptick that she has seen with social media and how they've expanded that. And then we're going to talk tomatoes because, as I mentioned to you all and also to her, we've got KC Tomato, who is in the house, and he's going to tell us the stuff about tomatoes, which we all love. So, Miss Diane, how is it, because we're going through the same kind of phase, but you're probably way ahead of us, but we're trying to use more of the social media and, of course, the video stuff to, show people, what we're seeing, what folks have done so they can grasp it that, hey, I'm not the only community garden out there that's doing this, or maybe they are doing that and I can do that too kind of thing. How is it that you find by using social media, particularly videos, that it's really helped you all?
Well, with us, there's kind of twofold. With videos, we're doing cooking videos using AAS winners, and so there's so many different videos out there on cooking. So we thought we would jump on the bandwagon, and then along the same theme is with Facebook groups. The big thing now is if you have common interests, so maybe there's a community gardening Facebook group, or community gardening in a certain state could be a Facebook group, and that way you're sharing all of your common interests.
Oh, that's so cool. And we find that the technology is always changing, and to keep up with it, it's been a challenge, I'll tell you on my side. but it has been rewarding because we can reach more people.
Right. Yeah, you definitely can when you have a group of common interest.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, Gal, we're going to be talking now about tomatoes because we've got Casey Tomato that's in the house. I happened to see him on Twitter, and so I contacted him, and I hope I got this right. He lives in Missouri, but he has his fields in Kansas City. He said, I'm right here at the line. So he's in 2 states, so he's going to give us his views and ideas about tomatoes. What do you find about tomatoes? Because I think the Young Company, who has about 8 or 9 different catalogs, their Totally Tomatoes catalog is just absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome.
It is.
So there must be a bigger market out there than what I'm aware of, but I know that that's a popular, vegetable. We here in the Midwest, we're corn. Go ahead.
Yes, and I would say that knowing a lot of the seed companies, mail-order seed companies that I work with, and Jung is one of them, tomatoes is the number one crop that home gardeners start with. So, it's always a tomato because when you grow a tomato, it's going to taste better than what you can buy in the supermarket. So tomatoes are the number one go-to product, and thankfully, they're somewhat easy to grow, as long as you know what you're doing and, have certain expectations, then they're pretty easy to start from seed and, wait until the weather's warm enough. Heaven forbid if you're in Chicago, don't buy a tomato plant today and go plant it. You have to wait until after the last frost.
I want to apologize that one day you guys got ready to have your 12 to 14 inches of snow. The first time we talked on radio, bottom line, I had a doctor's appointment afterward the show. I don't know if it was me or my mom. I can't remember. But the next show that we had, I had a doctor's appointment beforehand, and I hadn't had a chance to see the weather yet, although I knew that we were possibly getting ice. But I hadn't had a chance. So when you said something about the weather, I was like, maybe there's something going to be happening. And, of course, then all of a sudden that I looked at the weather and I thought, oh, my goodness. And I hope that you all made it through the snow, and I would have been a lot more compassionate. But I didn't know anything. I apologize.
Not a problem.
So I know you were worried.
Snow, but it's all gone. It's melted now, and everybody survived it.
Oh, my lands. Well, we have exceptional weather this week, so I don't know if we're getting snow next week, but we have exceptional weather this week. So a tip that someone gave me at Walgreens, believe it or not, one of the managers, he said get a tomato and then cut it twice and then put it inside the pot, which we did last year, but we did it late in the season, so it took about a month and a half for it to grow. And it finally grew, we think, one of the slices. We're not sure if it was all of them, but one of the slices. And, gal, I mean to tell you, I'm salivating right now. They were gorgeous. They were a good size tomato, and they were actually red. I couldn't believe it. They were actually red. So I don't know if you've heard of that tip or not, but they actually grew. So we're going to try that first right after the season here. We're going to, as soon as we can find a good red tomato, we're going to go ahead and cut it and then put it inside there. And then, but it took us about a month and a half. We're a lower part of the Midwest. So what kind of good tips do you have about tomatoes? Or do you have any ideas of what's the trend?
Well, we see all kinds of entries here, and I think I've talked about trends before. The number one thing is disease resistance. So this is what the breeders are working on when they're producing hybrids. They want the home gardener to be successful. They don't want you to get some sort of disease on your tomatoes and lose all your plants halfway through the season, which can easily happen if they're not disease resistant. So that's the big thing. Of course, taste is the big thing. Unique colors, we've got the indigo tomatoes like Midnight Snack. Yellow tomatoes, we've got one called Chef's Choice Yellow. Patio Choice Yellow is like a little grape tomato or cherry tomato. Currant tomatoes, we've got one called Candyland Red. So the unique is always a great seller, but of course your basic red like Celebrity is always a good seller also.
Oh, the varieties that the young people have are just out of this world. I couldn't even believe there were so many tomatoes. With tomatoes, are you going to be doing a lot of videos or some videos on that too that they can see on your website, or what's going to happen there?
Absolutely. Yes, we do. I think 3 of the recipes that we have include tomatoes. So one is actually taking that currant tomato, Candyland Red, that I mentioned, and roasting it with okra. So that's one recipe. Another one is a spicy tomato and cucumber salad. And then the other one is making